recording now. Okay. Okay, now. I just saw just now somebody wants to come in. Okay, 14. Okay. Okay, this is wasting time. Anyway, start with the lecture. Okay. Not that many slides. 5 here, and then I've apa nama tu? If your friends want to come in, okay, just let me know so that I can admit them. Okay. Now, we stopped last week at the meeting, general rules during the general meeting. So we are going to continue with improvements under SMA. In particular, we are going to discuss this one, number 1. Okay, improvements in the provisions for the MC and management of the strata scheme, whereby now under SMA we have the sub-MC, the subsidiary management corporation. That apa nama tu is a vast improvement from the previous scheme, whereby last time you only have a single tier or a single a single level of management, which is MC. Now you have a 2-tier management, MC and then sub-MC. Okay, then other improvements under SMA, strengthening of the COB, Commissioner of Building. This is we are for COB. Okay, this one we are going to elaborate next week. Okay, COB lecture. The third one is the establishment of the Strata Management Tribunal. Okay, SMT. Okay, SMT is going to be our lecture on week 9. Okay, SMT, Strata Management Tribunal. And then improvements in the strata title issuance procedure. Okay, so for this one, okay, we have actually covered, okay, when I gave the 4 segments to in week 5 lecture. Okay, the strata title issuance procedure, whereby now, okay, the intention is when the developer delivers the vacant possession, that is the point when strata titles will be issued. Simultaneously, that is the intention. Okay, with the enactment of SMA. Tujuan dia nak improvekan the strata titles delivery system, whereby once the developer gives out the keys, serah kunci kan, or delivers the vacant possession, strata titles will also be given as well, or will be issued as well. Now, number 5, enhance certainty in the issue of strata titles and prevent undue changes in strata scheme, also have covered under the week 5 lecture, which is when I talk about SOP, the schedule of parcels. Okay, that is where when I say that schedule of parcels must be prepared during the application for building subdivision, and the SOP must be displayed at public areas, the areas where they can easily be seen or easily be accessed. So enhancing certainty, the buyers can know beforehand what are the share units, okay, how many parcels there, what are the components of the strata scheme. Okay. Number 6, promote certainty on the allocation of share units from early stages of development. So now, before applying for the building subdivision, the developer has to prepare the SIFUS, the sigil, SIFUS sigil formula, unit share kan, SIFUS ataupun SIFUS. So the unit share has to be calculated from the onset, from the beginning tu. By whom? Developer bayar lah the licensed land surveyor to do it. Okay. Improvements in somebody wants to come in.
Doctor, do we need to share screen?
I shared screen with you, right? I didn't. Alamak. Okay. Tak dapat So I was talking to myself just now. Okay, anyway, I will do it. Share lupa. Tak payah I share screen. Okay, share screen. Sorry, my bad. Okay, we are here.
Doctor.
My bad.
My friends want
to come in. Okay. Thank you. I have admitted everybody. I think 35 of us now. Yeah. Wait. Let me check. Okay. 35 of us. Nobody else is waiting in the waiting room. Anyway, sorry about that. My bad. Like I said. Okay. Share screen. I want to share this. Actually, this slide. Okay. So improvements under SMA. Okay, so just now I mentioned this, provisions MC. We are doing this in this week's lecture, improvements in the provision for the MC, which is the sub-MC. Strengthening of the COB. COB is going to be lecture next week, week 8. Strata Management Tribunal, week 9. Strata issuance procedure improvements, we have covered that in week 5. Enhanced certainty, we have covered that in week 5. Promote certainty in the allocation of share units, we have covered that in week 5. Improvements in enforcement and penalty, so we are going to cover that later on, okay, after week 9 or during week 9. Establishment of maintenance and sinking fund accounts, okay, maybe also in week 9. Provision for the appointment of managing agents. So this was a question before, I think by Neo, if I'm not mistaken, kan dia kata, who can be appointed as these agents, managing agents? I said registered property managers kan, so that's the answer lah. Provision for the appointment of managing agents. So if there's a poor quality of management by the management committee, okay, the COB can interfere. They can elect somebody from outside, property consultants, to come in and manage the strata scheme for everybody. The main thing here is to ensure that the strata scheme, whether it's a single use or a mixed use, or whether, tak kisahlah, to ensure that the strata schemes will be properly managed. Because in a normal housing scheme, for instance, or in a normal township kan, not a strata, not a gated and guarded, the provision of sanitary, of street lighting, whatever, is done by the local authority, betul? So in a strata scheme, gated community, all the management inside the ground so will be done by the management committee, management corporation, which is represented by the management committee. If there's no there's a very poor management by the management committee, okay, then the owners cannot ask the local authority to come in, to step in, to save the day. No, cannot, because it's a strata scheme, and the management and maintenance of the common property is under the responsibility of the management bodies. So maknanya if that is the case, sekiranya the property is not properly managed by the management bodies, which could be either the developer, the JMB, or the MC, the COB can appoint somebody from outside to come in, an agent to come in and manage properly. Okay. So we come to the messy punya slide. Never mind. Okay, management. So we now want to discuss duties. This one, enhanced MC duties under the SMA. Okay, duties, powers, and also lastly this one. Sorry, duties, powers. Tak ada dua je. I thought there's another one. Anyway, duties and powers. Okay. Now, for the duties, okay, duties of the management committee, okay, of the management corporation, not management committee, of the management corporation, enhanced duties to ensure good and proper management and maintenance of the strata scheme, okay, is provided under section 59 sub 1. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 additional duties. Okay, not additional, 9 clearly stated duties, because some of these you can find in the STA, but now under the MC, maybe some of the provisions they have clarified or they have added also a few provisions here. Okay. The first one is to manage and properly maintain the subdivided building or land and common property and keep it in a state of good and serviceable repair. Manage and maintain. Management and maintenance kan, of the building itself or the land and common property. And keep it in a state of good and serviceable repair. Because like I said before, local authority is not responsible anymore. So it's under the responsibility of the MC. Okay. To determine and impose the charges to be deposited into the maintenance account for the purposes of proper management and maintenance of the subdivided building or land and common property. Determine is to set the the payment, the rate of payment for each parcel owners, imposed to give notice to the each parcel owner. This is how much you have to pay, when you have to pay. Okay, so nobody else can impose the charges except the MC. Okay, so like I said just now, if managing agent comes in, can they impose the charges? Cannot. The MC is the only body that is empowered under law to do this, to determine and impose the charges. So when do they do this? When do the MC do this? MC can all the owners can. So all the owners come together during the AGM. So it is during the AGM when the charges, the service charge, the sinking fund contribution is determined and are determined and are imposed. Okay. Kalau if there's any variations, kalau katakan ada certain things that need expenditure very quickly, then the MC has to call for an EGM, extraordinary general meeting, decide in the EGM on a new rate to be charged, and then only that new rate can be charged. Otherwise, it will be illegal. C, to determine and impose the contribution to the sinking fund to be deposited into the sinking fund account for the purpose of meeting the actual or expected expenditure under Section 51. Now, B and C are all both concerned, okay, setting and imposing a rate of payment to individual parcel owners. B is payment on charges, on service charges. C is the payment on what we call contribution to the sinking fund. These two types of expenditures are different. B is for the day-to-day operation, the cleaning, the security. Okay, but C, a sinking fund is something that you project to happen 3 years in the future, 5 years in the future. You have learned this, I think, under property management. If not, under something. Okay, can you mute your mic? Oh, I can do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, D, to effect insurance according to this act or to insure against other such risks as required under special resolution. Insurance lah. So D is insurance, to ensure there's insurance on the scheme. E, to comply with the notice or order given or made by local authority or any competent public authority requiring the abatement of any nuisance on the common property, or ordering repairs or other works to be done in respect of the common property or other improvements to the common property. Okay, so this one, if there's any notice, if there's any orders from the local authority concerning the common property, concerning the ground ataupun lifts or corridors or whatever, local authority comes and inspect, or there's maybe a complaint by a resident to the local authority straight kan, not to the MC kan. So the local authority gives a notice to the MC to abate. Abate means to stop lah, to stop the nuisance. Then the MC must abate the nuisance. Or if the local authority asks to repair or do a work, do something, maybe repair the road, tarmac lah, then has to be done by the MC. F, to prepare and maintain strata roll. Like I said before, strata roll is different from strata register. Strata roll is maintained at the management office itself. G, to ensure that the accounts required to be maintained by the MC under this act are audited and to provide audited financial statements for the information to its members. Okay, if you want to say purchase kan a certain parcel in a strata scheme, you can request in writing the accounts lah, boleh. And the MC is wajib, is mandated, it's mandatory for the MC to provide the accounts or the statements within 21 days from the request, from the written request. H, to enforce the bylaws. Okay, enforce bylaws. For instance, the keeping of pets, ataupun the visitors. there's a restriction of visitors, or in my case, my condo, there's a restriction for children from playing in the corridor. There's children playing. MC can enforce the bylaw by making giving notices to the offenders, by advising the offenders to do such other things as may be expedient or necessary for the proper M&M. So other things, any other things that are necessary for proper management and maintenance. So next one is the powers. So just now, duties kan, statutory duties. Powers, if the MC does anything that is not stated here, that particular thing or that activity, that action now becomes ultra vires and can be challenged. So MC is only empowered, hanya boleh buat perkara-perkara, can only do things or actions as outlined under section 59 sub 2. The first one is to collect the charges from the proprietors in proportion to the share units or provisional share units of their respective parcels. So to collect the charges, to collect the contribution to the sinking fund. So collect money for charges, collect money for sinking fund. Okay, now here we are. Good. Sorry. Sinking fund amount. Sinking fund charge. The rate is fixed under SMA. Okay, the fixed rate is 10% of the charges. Cannot go above, cannot go beyond, below that, because this is just enough, okay, to cover any capital expenditures in the future. Itulah. That's why it's 10%. It's been stated clearly in the law, in the act, in SMA. So means if the MC charges 20% in anticipation of a major renovation or whatever in the future, that can be challenged by all other writers or all other owners, where challenged in tribunal or court. Okay, next, to authorize expenditure for carrying out the M&M of the subdivided buildings or lands on the common property. This one, management to authorize, to support, to allow lah, authorize to allow spending for the purpose of management and maintenance of the subdivided buildings, lands, common property. Okay. Then D, to recover from any parcel proprietor any sum expended means spent, to recover from any parcel proprietor any sum expended by the MC in respect of that proprietor's parcel in complying with such notices or orders as referred to in section 43 sub 1 sub E. This one, when the MC is required by the local authority, okay, to abate nuisance, to do some works, to do whatever by the local authority, and the work to abate the nuisance, the work to carry out the action is related to a parcel. For instance, MC is required to abate nuisance caused by pets, katakan kan, pets yang keluarkan that causes not smell pollution kan. So the MC has to spend some money to employ cleaners kan, special cleaners, maybe using industry strength punya cleaners kan, punya chemicals. Then the parcel proprietor yang mana the action was taken on can be asked by the MC, can be claimed lah, claim balik the money to recover from any parcel proprietor. COVID-19. COVID-19 kan, say there's somebody, I think like this is highly hypothetical, but I'm just saying kan, it can happen. Somebody, a parcel owner is infected. Okay, parcel owner is infected. Okay, case dah bawa bawa ke hospital, and then one owner in a block of a block of apartment, for instance kan. MC is required to, by the law kan, under the KKM punya directive or any akta kesihatan keselamatan, to clean or to sanitize kan, sanitize the lift, the corridor, the what else, the lobby, maybe even the whole floor where the COVID patient is kan. So it will incur money, you know. Okay, sorry, can I say this? Anyway, I know for a fact that some will charge 60 cents per square foot. That will be quite a lot, kan? 60 cents per square foot. Some cleaning companies. So MC, in theory, can recover that cost from that one of the patient just now. E, to purchase, hire, or otherwise acquire movable property for use by the parcel proprietors in connection with their use and enjoyment of the common property. Swimming pool, for instance, kan? The popular example that I normally give is the purchase of pump rosak, which is pump lah, because we need to ensure that the water is always clean, right? E, okay, next one is to employ, arrange, and secure the services of any person or agent to undertake the M&M of the common property. To employ, arrange, secure services of any person or agent to undertake the management and maintenance of common property of the subdivided building. This one, cleaning, the security, or whatever lah. The management and maintenance. Cleaning, landscaping is a good example. Landscape, especially for horizontal strata. Horizontal strata is gated and guarded communities, GACOS, gated communities lah in Malaysia. So this GACOS is a lifestyle punya development whereby they have a lot of greeneries, they have a lot of landscape features. So the MC is given the power to employ for landscaping punya services. G, to make additional bylaws for the proper management and maintenance of the subdivided buildings or land and the common property. So if there's any need for any additional bylaws, MC can enact, can make any additional bylaws. To borrow monies required by MC in the exercise of his powers or the performance of his duties. Sometimes the funds can be short. Tak cukup duit. Funds can be short. For instance, kan, example. Okay, my condo, old punya development. Okay, I think the date of completion was 1993. So old lah. Last year we had to replace 3 lifts. Each lift, the 3 lifts, one lift box or the car cost about 200,000. So that totally wiped out lah. We have the sinking fund for that. We have actually, but then it wiped out. Say in the future there's a need to replace another lift, kan? Another lift, 200,000 also, no money. So the management corporation can borrow, boleh pinjam, all of us lah. Dan gunakan apa sebagai what can be done as security. That can be arranged with the banks. Maybe bank can but not the land aspect. I don't think the land can be used as security against against loan from the bank. Any other properties lah boleh digunakan. Okay. Now we pause here a little bit. F, to borrow money is required by MC. Can the developer borrow money to exercise its powers in ensuring proper maintenance and management? Can lah, but cannot, like I said, cannot use. Okay, cannot use. Must be on personal capacity, on the individual capacity. Cannot be used on the name of the development. Satu. Okay, normally they don't do lah. Who is stupid enough to borrow money against their own asset to service another development, kan? Never done before. JMB, can JMB borrow money? Cannot. Tak boleh. Okay, this is the thing. Borrowing money, developers can, but they don't do. JMB cannot. MC can borrow money. Contracts, right? There are 3 management bodies: developer, JMB, MC. Can all these 3 enter into contracts concerning the services or concerning the management and maintenance of the common property or the subdivided building? Developer cannot. JMB cannot. MC can, because developer and JMB are temporary in nature. MC is permanent in nature. G, to secure the repayment of monies borrowed by it and the payment of interest thereon by negotiable. To secure repayment of monies borrowed by it and payment of interest by negotiable instrument or by a charge of unpaid charges to the maintenance account, by a charge of any property vested in it, or by a combination of any of those means. Secure the repayment of monies. MC, like I said just now, borrowed by it. Borrow money. Oh, like us. Okay, now MC. Okay, they cannot use the land as a security, and they cannot charge the land as security against borrowing. But some MCs they have units, kan, on the tata scheme itself. So those units can be used as security. G to units to parcels lah. G, to secure the repayment of monies borrowed by it. So means the payment of interest on by negotiable. Oh, this, okay. So negotiable instrument or by charge of unpaid charges to the maintenance account. Apa ni? To secure the repayment of monies borrowed by it and the payment of interest thereon. Oh, sorry. And C, okay, they can create an instrument, okay. Okay, secure repayment of monies borrowed by it. To secure the repayment of monies borrowed by it and the repayment. Oh, okay, sorry. This G, okay, gives the power of for the MC, okay, when they want to borrow money to use some kind of instrument to become the security against the borrowing. For instance, bagi contoh, deeds of assignment. Good, Dr. Has. Deed of assignment can be executed by the MC, which enables the borrowing to be done. Banks normally they need the deed of assignment, or deed of mortgage. Boleh buat against the parcel that is used under F tu, as a security for borrowing. So this one G tu is more on the instrument itself, the instrument of borrowing. F is to borrow the money, kan? G is the method used to borrow the money. Okay. F, to do all things reasonably necessary for the performance of duties under this part and for the enforcement of the bylaws. So this one is related to the last one under the duties of MC just now. So given power, must do. Okay. Management. Okay, now the management of strata. This is the first improvement just now. Management of strata scheme under which is the common property. Before SMA, it was problematic. Yeah, to limit the usage to certain groups only, which was a major issue for mixed development projects. So the problem of mixed strata developments before SMA was, like I said before, you give the example of 3 different uses: commercial, retail, office. Okay, retail, office, residential. You cannot say for the office users you cannot use the common property. Okay, the common property in the residential area, because common properties belong to all the owners, kan? But it creates problems when, for instance, you let people into the residential area without regard to security, kan? You can create security issues for the proprietors. Okay, so after SMA, it's possible to manage the various components separately under the newly introduced concept of limited common property. So under the SMA, you can identify, you can designate, okay, certain common properties as limited common property, and these limited common properties can be used for certain identified user only. Okay, certain common areas can be designated for the exclusive use of certain group of owners, such as resident-only swimming pool or an office-only lift. MC can now create sub-MC. So this is the first one that we arrived at, the point of our lecture today. Sub-MC to better manage different types of limited common property that's designated just now. Okay, limited. For example, a residential sub-MC would manage the resident-only facilities. The office sub-MC would manage the office block. The shop lot sub-MC would manage the shop lot facilities for owners. So you have a clear division of common properties known as limited common property, limited common property, limited common property, and then you have different managers for that. Sub-MC, sub-MC1, sub-MC2, sub-MC3. Sub-MC for office, sub-MC for retail, sub-MC for residential. So on top of the sub-MCs, the 3 sub-MCs, you will still have the MC. So this point I will elaborate in the next lecture. Procedure to establish sub-MC. Okay, one is a normal resolution to make payment for land surveyor. Okay, 1 until 10 can be clearly illustrated in a timeline punya diagram which I prepared in another set of lecture. We only have 7 minutes in this particular lecture. I intend to cover all 10 points here. Then we go to the very short lecture, 5 slides only, on the procedure to establish sub-MC. I have prepared a separate set of slides on the formation of sub-MC. Okay, so the first one is the MC passes normal resolution to make payment for land surveyor. So this is EGM1, not AJM. Extraordinary general meeting will be called by the MC, whereby a resolution, okay, a resolution to make payment for land surveyor is made. It's a normal resolution. Normal resolution, simple majority only. Then the MC, the management committee appoints a land surveyor. So now the first one was the management corporation. The second one, the committee appoints land surveyor to prepare special plans. Okay, this one is specific to sub-MC only, special plans. Okay, what are contained in the special plans? Details of the boundaries of the limited common properties and the parcels that have the exclusive benefits over it. So special plans, there are 2 components. One, the limited common property boundaries. 2, the users that can use the limited common property. 3, upon completion of the special plan, management committee will give 30-day notice with proposed resolution to create the sub-MC. Once the special plan has been prepared by land surveyor, management committee will call for a general meeting, an extraordinary general meeting. Number 4, convene the GM and voting for 60 days after the date of the GM. The MC, the management committee will hold the general meeting, the extraordinary general meeting. After the meeting, they will give 60 days to vote whether the proprietors agree or not. If the valid votes amount to at least 2/3 of aggregate share units after the 60 days, a comprehensive resolution will pass. The main objective of having the EGM and the voting was to secure comprehensive resolution. We have learned this before last week. What is a comprehensive resolution? It's when the 2/3 of aggregate share units agree. Then we will pass the comprehensive resolution. 6, the comprehensive resolution is a document. This document will be filed by with the COB, Commissioner of Building, pejabat dia at all local authorities. The comprehensive resolution is filed there within 28 days of the passing of the resolution. The management committee applies to the Director of Lands and Mines for the creation of the sub-MC. The Director of Lands and Mines will refer to Director of Survey to check the special plan just now, can or not. Is there any issues pertaining to the special plans as prepared by the land surveyor? Okay. Then number 9, the Director of Survey will give the adequate feedback. Okay, there's some problems here. You must betulkan ini, betulkan itu. Give the adequate feedback, or everything is clear. And go ahead. 10. When satisfied with the application, the Director of Lands and Mines will issue a certificate for the establishment of the sub-MC. That is when the sub-MC is born. Okay? So like I said before, I'm going to stop here, pause here. Stay put. After this, we are going to just go to a short 5 slide punya lecture whereby I will show you the timeline, where it will be easier for you to understand the 10 stages or the 10 things that must be done in order to form the sub-MC. Okay. So after this, again, I will create another Zoom. Everybody stay put. I will give the links after this. Tiring, right? Tiring. Okay, got question. So does this mean get guarded also just yes, Suzanne, betul. I'm sorry. Mom wants to go to Giant. Tak apalah. Social distancing, tak apalah. Okay. Anyway, stop here. And then stay put. There's another short lecture. Okay. We now are down to 3 minutes. Okay. Bye bye. See you after this. Right after this.